show. We're just doing a quick sound check. We're going to do this. This is a moment right here, and it's so convenient to come from here to here to talk a bit, take some questions as well, and sign some books. This is called The Gospel of Hip Hop. This book took 14 years to write. We started writing it in 1994 when we had a meeting at the Schomburg Center, the Alphonse Schomburg Center in Harlem, New York. We had a meeting there, myself, Cool DJ Hurt, Africa Bambaataa, Grand Wizard Theodore, Crazy Legs, and about 30 other activists as well, all got together and started to discuss hip hop as a legitimate culture. What does that mean? In 1994, we realized that rap was something that was done while hip hop was something that was lived. And the living of hip hop caused you to rap, to break, to DJs, cut, scratch. So we started to dig past the art, this self-expression, and started digging into the cause of the expression. What is it that causes you to rap? We all got together in 1994 and started talking about this. That meeting was transcribed. It's transcribed in this book. One of the chapters of this book is that meeting. But in 94, after that meeting, we said we're going to now start working on hip hop as a culture. When we started in 94, hip hop was really only seen on Yo MTV Raps. Not like today. Remember, this is before the internet and all of Facebook, Twitters, and all of this is before all of that. This is even before, really before MTV really started to embrace rap music videos. It was Yo MTV Raps, rest his soul, Ted Demi, who started that. That's really where the country was getting its hip hop from around 94. New groups like Wu-Tang was coming up. Mary J. Blige had just been out for a year. Boot Camp Click and all of that, and so on. This was a new era in hip hop coming up. A thinking era in hip hop was coming up. Nelson George, writer for Billboard, put out a book called Hip Hop America. We started reading that. I love his book, love him, but of course it was hip hop as rap music. Most of the books you get on the shelf, when they say the history of hip hop, or the hip hop generation, or it's always when you open it, it goes right to the music. It goes right to Cool DJ Hurt playing music in a park. It goes right to the entertainment. We felt that that was incorrect because before the entertainment, there is us just sitting around thinking, getting hit with the society itself. No one ever told that story accurately. Even this book doesn't tell that story accurately. That's the real history of hip hop. I breeze over it in this book. In this book pertaining to this particular birth of hip hop, we talk about people like Bruce Lee, which you may not find in any hip hop book. But Bruce Lee, if it was not for Bruce Lee, hip hop would not exist. This was one of the major figures in the early 70s in what we call the hood. This is what inspired us. So to preserve the culture, we started thinking about what type of knowledge should the future know in order to perpetuate hip hop as we remember it from 70, 80, and the 90s. That means everything is not going to get saved. We are only interested in first causes. Now I say this right at the top because this is the gospel of hip hop. This is a philosophical, spiritual work. But this is not the only work that hip hop needs. We just got kicked out of Texas with the textbooks. So we're not going to be taught in public school now. Okay, there it is. So hip hop needs a curriculum. It needs its own look at law. Hip hop needs its own look at medicine, its own look at architecture. This is its own look in religion, spirituality, and philosophy. So digging deeper here, now I say that to say, limit your thinking now to this. Hip hop needs a whole lot. And hopefully I'm inspiring one of you in here to take up these mantles. But narrow your understanding now to first causes. There's a bunch of the effects that should be captured, analyzed, looked at. But what causes all of that? This is what we felt was the most important thing for the future to know. What is it that causes hip hop? What's the ritual? What do you wear? What do you drink? What do you do? Digging into that question, we found that the nature of hip hop could not be found in physical nature. We looked all over the world for it. You can't eat hip hop. You can't drink it. You can't wear it. You can't go to it. At no time does hip hop enter the physical world. The term H-I-P-H-O-P, that term, hip hop, those 6 letters, is nowhere in physical nature. Nowhere. Yet, we all know it, feel it, and represent it accurately. This led us to the spiritual understanding, or the metaphysical understanding, metaphysica. The metaphysical understanding, beyond the physics, beyond the physical of hip hop. What's causing this thing to be physical? What's making it happen? What's the conditions of it? We learned that because hip hop is not in physical nature, yet we understand it. We realize that to really walk in hip hop, you're going to have to walk outside of the physical world. This is what starts its spiritual understanding. Very logically, if you are walking a hip hop path, meaning I am making my living, my life on hip hop. I'm raising my kids on hip hop. I'm getting married in hip hop. I'm gonna die and be buried in hip hop. If that's you, now, how do you really become successful in life? Really? First, we discovered we have a spiritual practice because this thing we doing is nowhere in physical nature. So if we really want to know what we doing, we gotta go in here. It would be great if there was a land called hip hop, or a tree called hip hop, or somewhere where you can go and say, this is hip hop. Carve off a piece and you actually have hip hop. But that's not the case. These 6 letters are nowhere in physical nature. The only time hip hop becomes physical is when you say, I'm in.